Hi, this is Evan with GSC, Certified SOLIDWORKS Electrical Applications Engineer. Today, we're going to look at how Draftsight can help us in some extra ways with the Draftsight plugin and how it interacts with active projects in SOLIDWORKS Electrical. This is just a really simple case, but it should demonstrate what we're looking at when we're adding the Draftsight plugin. So here we have a simple motor starter group and a power supply. And I want to send this schematic down to the shop floor or maybe into the field for a technician to take a look and service. And using the Draftsight plugin, they'll be able to get a look at not only the schematic, but also to add some notes and red line drawings, things like that, to send back to the engineer so the engineer can make decisions on the design. So with the Draftsight plugin, let me open up Draftsight here. You'll get a new tab here. It's called SOLIDWORKS Electrical. And under that, you'll see some very familiar things if you've ever been working in SOLIDWORKS Electrical. One of the important ones to get started is under Tools, Application Settings. You want to make sure that your Draftsight plugin for SOLIDWORKS Electrical is connecting to the collaborative server, because that's really what makes a lot of this behavior possible. Now, in this case, I'm just running on my local machine, but all of these settings would be basically identical to what you'd see in a normal SOLIDWORKS Electrical installation as far as the databases and the collaborative server go. So if your Draftsight plugin is configured correctly, what you'll see is under the SOLIDWORKS Electrical tab, a project manager. That's exactly what we see in our normal SOLIDWORKS Electrical installation. And when I access this, we're going to see any projects that are currently active and open by other designers are going to show up in red, just like what you would see in SOLIDWORKS Electrical 3D if you had somebody working on a project simultaneously. So again, that doesn't prohibit me from opening it. It just gives me a little heads up about who else is working on it, and so I can go ahead and access that project. Now it gives me the little notification of who is working on this project and just says, do you want to still open it? Now from this point on is where the software prevents us from making mistakes by telling me who else is actually working on a sheet and not allowing me to go in until I've communicated with them. So in this case, my electrical engineer has drawing 4 open. So what I would see in the Draftsight plugin is when I try to open that sheet to view and make some notifications, it says it can't open it because current user already has it open. So I have a chance here to send them a message and say, hey, I need to get into this. Can you please close down? And when I send that message in my SOLIDWORKS Electrical, I get the response here that they need me to close drawing 4. So I'll go ahead and close drawing 4, and then I will send them a message back saying good to go. And now in Draftsight, I should be able to open drawing 4 and start making a couple of edits with findings in the field as I'm doing this installation. So maybe the first thing I notice is my motor is undersized for the application. So let's go ahead and make note of that. And then we can add a little bit of text here to explain what we're looking for. And I'll accept those changes. Now what this does is, when I send this back, it's not going to overwrite or delete any of the smarts. It's just adding a little layer of this red line information that allows me to go back and delete that information. So let's make one more note, and then I'll show you how that last part works in action. I don't have a specific part assigned to this relay K10, so I'm going to ask the engineer to give me a little bit more information on that. So with those changes made, the only thing I need to do in Draftsight is save it and then close it down. Now one more thing I want to point to under the SOLIDWORKS Electrical tab is you do have access to a lot more than just your projects and your sheets. You can get into your library in here, so this is a handy way to go ahead and edit symbols, 2D footprints, and you can even go ahead and modify things like your manufacturer parts manager. Let's go ahead and open up drawing 4. So you'll see when I open this up, it's now applied those changes, and all this is raw lines and text. It's not affecting any of the smarts of this actual project. This is just basically an extra little drawing notification. So from here, I go ahead and make my decisions. What part do I want this to be and assign it? And then I can get rid of this raw text, and I could reassign the motor with a new part. And when I'm finished with that, send it off to whoever needs that information. So that's a quick glance at how this plugin will interact between SOLIDWORKS Electrical and Draftsight. A lot of people use Draftsight for various things, and this just expands that application. So from here, rev up your drawings, send them back and forth, and enjoy the feature that was available as of 2016.